Hi everyone, hope you're all doing well. Today we're taking a look at community games in Battlefield 5. So this morning the community games have gone live. You might know this in the past as private games or the rent a server program or just renting your own server. Well, a year after launch, the Battlefield 5 iteration of it has been implemented in the game. It is free, anyone can use this, you don't have to pay for it. But in this video I wanted to take a look at what we have here and give a bit of feedback on it, because I think the initial version of this is very basic and I don't see many people using it in its current state. So if you want to get to this, you go to play multiplayer and then create community game, as you saw there, and then you're presented with this screen and you have to add a config. You can name your config. So let's say we were going to go with Operation Underground only, something like that. So that's my config. The game size, 64 players, 32 or 16. Those are your only options. Now, what you'll notice when you've got 64 players selected, the only options are Breakthrough and Conquest. If I change that to 32, you get a few more options here. So we now get TDM, Outpost, Frontlines, Domination and Rush. But you'll notice that Breakthrough and Conquest have disappeared. So there isn't as much choice or flexibility there as there's been in the past with creating your own server, having like a 32 player Conquest, for example, which I know a lot of people like. Anyway, so you pick the number of players, you pick the game modes and the maps, and here you can choose the number of rounds. And this I think goes up to a maximum of 20. Yeah, so 20. I don't really want that many rounds. So we're just going to go with one for now. So we'll pick the game mode, Conquest, and we're going to go with Operation Underground, because that's all this server is supposed to be, right? I could also add, let's say, Breakthrough on Operation Underground. So this server just rotates between Conquest on Operation Underground and Breakthrough on Operation Underground. Nice and straightforward. You can then add a password. Password protect your game, 3 and 8 characters. And you'll notice that it says progression is disabled for all password protected games. And it's worth noting that Tides of War XP is disabled on password enabled and disabled games. So you can't earn Tides of War XP from community servers. Finally, the last config option is to set the minimum number of players to start the round. Sadly, the lowest setting for this is 4. That's really disappointing to me, because I think a lot of people who will actually use this in its current state for stuff like creating content, capturing nice screenshots, just looking around the maps, messing around with like one of the mates, whatever it is they want to do, you can't actually make the round live until there's at least 4 players on the server. In the past, you could go live with 1 player, but the minimum number of players to start the round here is 4, and then that's it. You click save, and then you can actually create and join the game. So you can add multiple configs here too, but for the sake of time, we're just going to create that game. And it just gives you a little overview of what your game is there. So at the moment, this is actually spooling up a server. And I think Battlefield 5 uses Amazon as their servers. I may be wrong on that, but for some reason I've got that in my head. So that's just gone and spooled up a server. The name of it is Jack Frags and then a number. So you can't set the name of your server. That's not possible with this custom game mode. If I press escape and then if I go to game info here, that's the name of my server, Jack Frags. So that's your origin name, or like your PSN name, your Xbox name, and then the number of the server that's just been automatically generated. Now, I would guess that this has been done to stop people having offensive server names. So let's just put everything offensive under that umbrella. I think that's why you can't set the name. And as you can see, it shows you ping, the tick rate, the spectators, up to 4 number of players, and then the next map in the rotation underneath. So if I were to just spawn into the game now, you'll see I can just run around the game on my own. The round's not live or anything, and it's just me on the server at the moment. So I didn't expect this, but a few people have just joined the game, so it's actually going to start. But this gives me a good opportunity to show you guys the admin controls that you have on the server and how that all works. I'm actually going to tell them that I'm demoing some features. Sorry. I might ban you. Let's go with that. So now the game has started And if I press escape and scoreboard, I get a few options here. So I'm sorry, Dennis BF1337. I can kick that guy like so. I can also ban my friend here who I did ask to join HADS. Ban player. This player will be banned and kicked from your community game. Until you remove the ban and or the community game session ends, this player cannot join this community game again. Alright, so we'll ban him. Now, just taking what that said for a moment. So, the ban will only stand for as long as the server's up. So if I make another server, that player won't be banned again. The screen's just gone black. I didn't do anything. Okay, right, because I think... What happened then? I think because only 2 people are in the game now, it just like restarted the round or something. But yeah, as I was saying, if a cheater comes onto your server, you can ban them. But if the server ends, they can come back on. There's no permanent ban list or anything like that. So that's terrible. Really. That's about all you can do. You can't manually switch players or anything like that. You can shut the game down. Like I can't put Johnny on the other team, for example. All I can do is kick or ban them. That is it. All right, Johnny. Give me a little tea bag. There we go. Lovely. Right, so really limited. Incredibly limited. But what we're going to do is just shut down the game. All players will be kicked out of the game at the end of the round. Boom. Done. That's it. Game shut down. Now, if you want to see community games that other people have created, you've got to go to advanced search and change this down the bottom to community games, and they'll all pop up here. And you can see a few people have set their own servers up already. I've got all regions selected at the moment. This is just on PC. If you want to see the map rotation of a community server, you click the little 3 dots here, game info, and then it shows you what the next map in the rotation is. And it's my understanding that if you create a server, it will only run for as long as there are players on it. So once that player count goes to 0, the server will end and be deleted. So it's not like these are servers that we had in the past which could be rented and were there all the time as long as someone was paying for them. They're just there as long as they're being used. I thought I'd give you a heads up too. If you create your own server and you think it's a pretty decent map, game mode rotation, a subreddit has been set up called BFV Community Games, and you can make a post on there and advertise the name of your server. So for me personally, I think it's cool that this is a free feature to everyone now. You can make a server, have some fun with your mates. If you've got a community, set something up for a few hours and mess around for a bit. At the moment though, with that feature set, if that's the intention, that's pretty much all you can do right now. But earlier on in the year, we did get a post about the kind of things that were coming for community games, like setting custom names for the server, making a description, controlling what classes and weapons, what vehicles were available, if the kill cam was on, turning friendly fire on or off, turning regenerative health on or off, choosing if you could see soldier tags, enabling or disabling third-person view, enabling or disabling aim assist, turning the minimap off, enabling or disabling the compass, having a VIP list, having a list of moderators. There's a huge list that we got to see in a community broadcast earlier in the year where all these additional features were talked about when discussing their plans for community games. Most of that isn't here. I really hope that they expand on this because in its current state, honestly, I just don't see it being used that much. What we originally saw and what we've got here are at completely different ends of the spectrum. So obviously somewhere down the line during development, something has changed, plans have changed, whatever. But I think it's obvious that what we've got now could be vastly improved and built upon. As right now, it's a incredibly basic feature set. And I think for community games to be a success and valuable to the players, it needs to be improved and fleshed out. Look at what we once had and what people were used to experiencing with custom servers in Battlefield games and compare it to this. But I do have hope that this will improve and be expanded upon. Obviously, they had plans to deliver something much bigger and more impressive than this. Potentially down the line that will come back. I just hope that DICE realize how important communities are in Battlefield games, and if they do add to this, great, and I hope that they use it as a learning exercise for whatever the next Battlefield game is, and we get a robust feature set of custom game modes, community games when the game launches. With that said, that's all for today, folks. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Anyways, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like. If you didn't, a dislike. Subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one.